Have you ever wondered why?
When?
How much?
What if?
Well, you're in luck, because you're listening to the Hypotheticast.
3 best buds.
On a mission.
To ask all the questions?
And get all the answers.
Blazing, and I do think I'm amazing. You got the dignity to feel a little about yourself. I don't care what your preacher says. I got my own vicious ways. Only got one commandment, and it goes: I'm killing it. I'm killing it.
Hello, welcome to the Hypotheticast. This is not a voice you know, but maybe it will become one. For now, I am taking over for the evening. My name is Joe, and I have invaded. I had to ring the doorbell, though, but they did let me in, so they kind of knew I was coming.
He's like a vampire.
Yeah. I'm here in my favorite sweater. It's beautiful, and I've got slippers on. I'm ready to go for the evening, and I am going to be asking all the questions tonight.
Wait, since the listener is not a viewer, this is Mike, by the way. Hi. Do you want to describe your beautiful sweater?
I think you should try it.
Okay.
Try it on?
No, just try to describe it.
It has very royal colors on it. It's kind of a bronze and purple with some like design patterns, which I feel like might hide like secret stories within them. Like that kind of looks like a film strip. I'm actually wondering now if it's a reference to like a movie.
Might be reading into it a little.
It looks totally like a film strip. It's really beautiful.
Sure.
I think so. This episode is going to be about Joe's sweater.
It is a beautiful sweater. I'm not gonna keep describing it, but that was a fine job, Mike. My name is Emily, by the way, and this is a great episode because it means that David and Mike and I didn't have to do any work. So that's my favorite thing about it so far.
That's true. My name's David, and I also like Joe's sweater. I think it tells a real story, and it takes us all on an adventure. I'm glad Joe's here. I'm glad he's taken over for many reasons. One of them being, of course, as Emily said, we don't have to do as much prep.
I did all the work.
Joe did all the work.
That's right.
Because Joe loves asking questions.
That's right. I heard the premise of this podcast about a year ago, and I've been following ever since, and I like to ask questions, and I've actually been a friend of David's since 6th grade?
6th or 7th. I think maybe you were in 6th, and I was in 5th.
It was a long time ago.
It was.
I did not know it went back that far.
Tiny babies.
Way back in the day. And actually, as proof of that, I've brought something.
Yes.
From David, way back in the day.
He's opening a blue folder.
What?
There's a sheet that
We're gonna post this on the Hypotheticast
Oh my
page.
God,
It says
absolutely.
Zapper's Expressions, and it's a bunch of cartoons of a little character with different emotions.
And it's by
Some
David
of them are
G.
emotions.
Was this for school or was this for fun?
This was for fun. He just brought this to class one day and said, "Here you go, guys. Have this." And I don't remember you explaining anything about it. You just gave it to us. And it's been in storage for about 20 years now.
I think I had ambitions to turn it into a comic of some kind.
There's more.
A sort of brand, but it's a little alien guy with a little cape. And I drew this big grid of all of the things that Zapper could do. And I was actually thinking about this like a couple weeks ago because I was thinking like
Zapper.
When was the last time I tried to be an artist? And I feel like it was like 6th grade. But I
You
made
were an artist.
It was surprisingly popular. I remember there was a time I was making copies of this for people in school, and they were like, do you have any other Zappers
I was probably one of those, yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was like, oh yeah, this is my big break. And it wasn't.
No.
But I am so happy that one of them has
It's
survived.
right.
So the thing I love the most is that it seems at first like it's maybe just going to be like one of those emotions charts.
Right.
Where you're like, what does this feeling look
Happy,
like?
sad,
So you have happy, sad,
angry.
scared, confused, and then you have baby
Yeah.
and graduate.
Yeah, I like graduate.
And robot.
Eating also is on there.
There was football as an expression, too.
Small.
And doing school and braces.
Well, this is adorable, a little bit terrifying, but mainly adorable. Thank you so much for bringing us this relic.
I searched for about 3 hours today just trying to find that.
I'm going to take some pics of it right now.
Yeah.
So we're going to post this on the Hypothetic page.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry, folks.
You guys can look at it. It'll be a lot of fun.
It's like a Rorschach blot showing where you were at that point
Yeah,
in
this
your
is
life.
kind of like
Absolutely.
what you were experiencing.
I should post a picture of myself from 6th grade too to go along with this.
We might need to do that.
So
yeah.
that
That
you know
might be important.
what the person that was
Just for
distributing these
context.
socialist pamphlets.
Zapper, the new mascot.
Our new mascot, Zapper.
Okay, so for today, what I'm going to be doing is I get to ask all the questions.
Yes.
And I am taking over the show. That means that I've chosen not to do Would You Rathers today.
What?
That's the game that we invented, though.
I know. I can't do your games. I have to go with my games.
Yeah, trademark.
And honestly, the reason for that is because I love asking questions that make people think. Kind of like a side quest in my life. I love to make people think however I can. And questions are a great tool to do that with. And so I've got a bunch of questions here that are open-ended, and we will see what they think of them. They have not been told ahead of time what these questions are. No. They will all be a surprise. So you get to hear their reactions.
Will we feel happy, sad, scared?
Can we point to this?
Robot? Idea?
If we're just like,
Sneaky?
we can't
Yes,
figure
please
out
check the
word.
chart if you are unsure of what is happening inside of yourself. If you need a word for the emotion you are feeling.
Thank you.
I think I feel pretty football about this so far.
I'm feeling pretty baby.
All right. So hit us with the questions.
We're ready, Joe.
Okay. Question number 1 here. So I am a big fan of the Olympics. I love watching the Olympics. I love watching all of the obscure Olympics that never make it onto NBC's prime time, which is always the ones that the Americans are in that we're good at.
Right.
You miss all the other stuff that the world is good at, and it's fascinating to watch some of them. And so if you get a chance to see some of the other stuff, it is amazing what you will watch.
Cool.
And one of my favorite random Olympics that I've seen late at night on some cable television Olympics channel is rhythmic gymnastics. Have you guys seen any of this?
No, I don't know what that is.
We are going to take a quick pause while we watch a YouTube video of this, and Grandma explains.
Rhythmic gymnastics is a sport in which individuals or groups of 5 manipulate 1 or 2 pieces of apparatus, rope, hoop, ball, clubs, or ribbon. It combines elements of ballet, gymnastics, dance, and everybody's favorite thing, apparatus manipulation.
Well, I think I'd be really good at rhythm gymnastics.
So here's the question based on how you've seen that, and I would recommend that everybody listening to this would go on YouTube and look up
What are the terms they should Google?
rhythmic gymnastics group, and then Russian or ribbon or something like that.
Okay.
Fortunately for you guys, I am starting up a team for next year's Olympics, whenever that comes. And I have decided to bring you guys in. You guys are now on the team, whether you like it or not.
Oh, wait, we're performing?
You guys are part of my team.
Good,
Okay.
good.
Yeah. My question for you guys is, what will your signature move be for the rhythmic gymnastics team that we are putting together?
I know mine right now, and
Say it.
I don't know if anyone's going to like it.
Just say it.
Spanking myself with a ribbon.
Yeah, we're not going to like that.
Might not get high marks from the judges.
Well, it depends on the judges.
Now, you said that all of rhythmic gymnastics involves props.
Yes.
Ribbons, balls.
The first one we're going to train for is the one with the ribbon. These are 20-foot long ribbons,
Okay.
and they can be all different colors, and you have to keep them in the air at all times, and all these different things you can do with them. Keep them twirling and keep them moving in whatever form you do. There's teamwork stuff you can do.
Right.
Because I was going to get shot out of a cannon or something, but that's not allowed.
I don't think that's a part of rhythmic gymnastics.
Why can't
Maybe,
it be?
here, Mike, here's what we could do. We could have, as a whole team, we could create a cannon of ribbons.
With the
We could be
ribbons as
twirling
they're
the ribbons
moving?
into a shape of the cannon.
And you could
jump
leap through it.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty fun.
How about this? Wrap me up in a ribbon, like a maypole, like I'm a big old
Yeah.
maypole.
Yeah.
And then I get totally wrapped up in ribbon, and then you unwrap the ribbon, and I'm gone.
Yes,
And everyone's like, "Oh
magic.
my god, where did he go? I
Oh,
want
no.
magic."
A magic show that is at the Olympics is a
Yeah,
genius idea.
I've always said any Olympic event could use a magic show in
Yeah.
the middle of it.
Yep.
Okay.
That's
Any
good.
Olympic
That, if that works, that'll be great.
Oh, it'll work.
Cool. Okay, so I think mine is going to be, I don't know if this is possible, but I feel like it is. Mine is going to be, I can move the ribbon really fast and I can write words with it.
Yeah.
Really quick, like just for like a flash.
What would you write?
You'll see a word. And so like throughout the routine, I'll tell a story, but you won't be able to know what it is until you watch the playback in slow motion.
Subliminal messages.
Yes.
Help! Get me out of here.
No, I think it'll be like a story that gives like a little bit more insight into our routine and maybe apologizes for David spanking himself.
Yeah,
with
well,
his
I,
ribbon.
I changed my mind.
No.
Well, no, I can do that too, but
We have enough time for maybe two possible
I
moves
think what
here.
I want is a cowboy hat, and I want to be like lassoing the whole time, and our fifth will be an actual cow that I will be trying to catch as we do the routine.
All right, so my move, I had plenty of time to think about this, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
My move is going to be the Hideo Nomo. Which,
Yes.
unless you were a baseball fan in the 1990s, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
No.
He was a pitcher for the Dodgers from Japan who had a very twisty-turny pitching motion. So a lot of spinning involved in his motion as much as you can. I always had fun when I was a kid mimicking his motion. So I would just be this pitching motion because somebody's got to throw these batons somehow.
Sure, yeah.
And I can do this spinning, twisting motion of throwing it to you guys, so you guys can do your fancy stuff as well. Yeah.
I'm not very good at catching
we're gonna have to work on that.
throwing or moving quickly. And
you can just be standing there spelling the story in the middle of the
You are our narrator.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Cool. Just want to make sure I'm clear about my athleticism.
Right, so, rhythmic gymnastics requires 5 people, and there's only 4 of us here.
Oh, true.
Which means we need a 5th person.
Uh-oh.
So we are going to have a contest for all of you listeners for who wants to be our 5th person.
Yeah.
And so what you need to do is you need to write up on the hypothetical page what your special move would be were you to be on our team.
Send in video for extra
That would
points
be
for
wonderful.
judges.
Yeah. Emily, why don't you pick the winner? You are the most sensible of this bunch.
Sure. Wow.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree.
I feel really good about having achieved that mantle. I would love to watch your entries or just read about them if you're camera shy.
Awesome. Thanks for joining my team, guys.
We didn't have a choice.
Okay, next question here. You guys ready for this?
Yes.
If you could have a photograph of any moment in history, what picture would you want?
That is so good. So immediately I feel like a time before we had cameras feels like the right choice.
Right.
Just because even to just like
maximize.
have a picture of that would be amazing. But what? The other thing that my brain is like pressuring me to think of is something super significant or something that would like solve a mystery.
Or rewrite history.
Or that.
I mean, a good answer is always like the scene of a true crime, like that one, like the Dyatlov Pass or whatever that is.
Oh my God.
Like what actually happened there would be pretty fascinating. And I think all of those would be cool to see.
Well, what I'm picturing this being is like a magic camera, like a Polaroid camera, because usually those are the magic ones that are cursed or blessed. And you just tell it what moment you want and it spits out the picture.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I want to see a picture of the face of the first human that laughed at something humorous. I was going to say a joke, but I don't want it to be a joke necessarily. Like I don't want to have to tell them a joke because personally I don't even like jokes in the traditional sense, like from
riddles.
a joke book jokes.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
But that's another issue. But no, I would like to see the first moment of humor in existence. Like the
So
first
you
time
want to see
someone
their face while they're reacting. I think the main interesting thing would be to see like at what point I feel like that must be pretty early on.
in
Like at
human
what point in our evolution
when were they like
should we develop a sense of humor? Maybe you could ask the camera to back up a bit so that you could see both the face and whatever
a
they were
wide
laughing
angle?
at. Yeah.
Like what is it? Like it probably wouldn't be like a written joke. Because writing would just
It's like
come
their
along
dad
a lot
falling.
later. Their dad falling.
What kind of stupid joke is this?
Physical comedy. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that is kind of the universal humor of like someone falling
Slipping
down
on
when
a
you weren't
banana
expecting
peel.
them to fall down, you know?
My first thought was the first kiss.
I was just
on
going to
the
predict
lips.
that you were going to say that.
Because
smooch.
Because I love a good smooch, and because I feel like it would be better in a video though, because like people figuring out that they wanted to kiss each other would be real weird looking, because that's not something that like we do. Like there's a lot of affection shared between animals and stuff, but like when humans were like, what about like a smooch though with these parts of us? I am intrigued by that, but I also want to know. So I think I would accept a picture of that from the camera, but I would also accept a picture of either a list or the pile of things that people tried to steep in water before they figured out tea.
You think that's actually written down somewhere?
No,
like, was there some guy that was like, oh, let's see, sand? Nope. Cross that off the list.
But that's the only way I could see a picture of it. That's the problem. Or at least a picture of a guy trying to drink sand and being like, nope, this isn't hot chocolate.
I think I've decided mine. I would literally need to think about this for like a year to make the right choice. But right now in this moment, I want a picture of Queen Elizabeth I. Just like in like a private, like in her room, just like writing or reading or something, not dirty.
Not that kind of private.
Just
moment.
like not fully adorned in her, like, you know, all the paintings of her. Just a woman with so much power who had to put on such a like thing to go out into the world and be like acceptable in that position, but just like to see, because she probably didn't look like Cate Blanchett, which is fine. And also just to have a picture from that time period would be super interesting.
That is a good choice.
Well, I did have a year to think about this.
Yeah, all right.
And I still don't know if I have the right answer or not. The one I came to that I really would love to see a picture of would be the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. And the moment when the sea backs up.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be amazing. I've seen
gosh.
artist renditions of whatever they think that might have been, but to see an actual photo of that would be something else.
Yeah, anything that's like archaeological in nature or like dinosaurs. Wait a minute. I want a picture of a dinosaur.
Yeah. The other one that I just thought of just right now, when I didn't have a year to think about things, was I would love to have a picture of what Mona Lisa's face was like before he tried to paint it. Whatever her facial expression actually was.
And just like what she actually looked like.
Yeah. He's painting a picture and then he takes a picture right there. And then we get to see the contrast between what he did and versus what she was actually, the look she was actually giving him.
Right, because that's one of the most iconic faces, but we don't know what her face actually looked like.
That's right.
Weird.
I want to see if she was smiling or not.
I bet she was just like cutting up so happy, just like laughing.
There was a Catholic priest, Father Ernesto
Is that the start of a joke right there?
Vanzetti. No, he said he had a chronovisor that could look through history and show you pictures of things through history. And he had pictures of Jesus from this.
Oh, my.
And pictures of biblical events. Of course, it was all biblical because he was a Catholic priest.
Sure.
And he claimed that was real.
Wow.
Most people were like, cool, dude. But like, and I don't know, I haven't researched it a lot, but he claimed like that he could take pictures through history and he had actual pictures. They're super blurry.
Is the surprise of this question that you brought that chronovisor here for us and that we actually get to use it?
That is actually the prize for the Olympics.
Perfect.
We have to win first.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
You win the chronovisor.
Yeah, we win the chrono picture
Better go
thing.
practice,
Amazing.
guys.
Okay, third question here. This is one I found on Facebook, and I just loved it so much that I had to bring it here.
Oh.
You can replace the cast of any movie with the Muppets, but you keep one human actor. What movie and which human do you keep?
Yeah, I saw this question on Facebook
too. It's so brilliant.
And I thought about it, and I had an answer at that time, but I forgot what I thought in my mind.
12 Angry Men.
Who do you keep?
Ooh, does it have to be a person from the movie?
Yeah, well, you have to
Yes.
keep one of the original cast.
I don't want to keep any of them. I just want
have
12
to.
Angry
You
Muppets.
have
Well, then I pick a different movie.
12 Angry Muppets.
I have a good one. 3 men and a baby, and the baby is the only one that's real. See a little Muppets handling a
That
little
is
babe.
good. 3 Muppets and a baby.
I actually think I have the right answer for this one.
Oh.
I don't say that very often, but I think I have the right answer
Figure
here.
it
Right.
out.
The Hobbit. And you keep Martin Freeman, and everything else is
Oh, sure.
Hobbits.
Actually, that could
And
Yeah,
work.
I would
Muppets.
actually
See?
watch The Hobbit.
It's the right
yeah.
answer. And I would watch the movie then.
That sounds like someone would just have pitched.
Right.
It would fix the movie in so many ways. It would be a
that's
lot
probably
closer to what the whimsical nature of the actual book.
Yeah.
And I would totally watch that.
I think Alien. Alien, but keep Sigourney Weaver. Because I want her to be in the movie still. I think she's even more important than the alien in Alien, maybe. Yeah, so everyone else is alien, including the aliens. The
Yeah, the
xenomorphs
aliens.
are played by
Yeah.
Gonzo. Like, they're all just Gonzo.
They're all him.
In like a
Yeah.
costume?
No, it's just
No,
Gonzo.
it's just
He's not
Gonzo.
dressed as a xenomorph.
But it's still a
It's
terrifying
Gonzo.
movie.
Oh, yeah, he still erupts from John Hurt's chest.
Fair.
But he's Gonzo. Actually, it's not John Hurt, though. So we'll say that's Bunsen, the little scientist guy.
Oh, yeah, Bunsen would be good in that role. He would also be good in the Ian Holm role.
Yeah, he would maybe good for that. I think because John Hurt was not a scientist in that movie.
Yeah.
He was kind of, what was he?
Was he a captain? Was he a...
So John Hurt, maybe that's like Sam the Eagle or something.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say, who is Sam
He's
the
like
Eagle?
kind of respectable and
Sure.
has a deep.
Can the crew be the Pigs in Space crew?
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with their work, but that seems like that would work.
Or Gonzo's chickens. They have to be in there somewhere.
Oh, that's true.
Maybe they could be
The
like
girls.
the chest bursters, or they could be like the face hugger aliens.
Oh, yeah, because there are little ones. So I got to come up with another one. I mean, 12 Angry Men's fun.
No, that's really good.
That
But
would
I
be
don't
fun
want to keep
watch.
anyone. I want it to just be a bunch of Muppets arguing about a really, really serious court case. The person whose life is on the line, the defendant.
You know, intentionally,
I
you
keep.
never see anyone else.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, I know.
That's the
I
whole
was just
point.
thinking that.
Yeah, so I think the unmentioned or the very mentioned defendant is still human, but never on screen.
Never on screen.
And the rest of the Muppets are just there and they're debating it.
All right, meat time.
Meat time.
Meat time. I am the meat handler for the day, And although the previous questions are pretty meaty as they are.
This is like my Thanksgiving experience where I was like, oh, I'm going to have some ham. And then my next course is more ham.
Just a bunch of meat all night long. So I love stories that have to do with time and time getting mixed up and confused. And
yes.
One of the ones that I've always enjoyed was Groundhog's Day. And my dad would watch that every year. Loved it, got into it. And I've enjoyed stories that are similar to that, like Edge of Tomorrow.
Happy Death Day.
I don't know about that one.
Just came out last year.
I should watch that.
You should. It's actually really fun. It's this girl who gets murdered, and then she keeps reliving the same day trying to solve her own murder.
I'm totally in. One thing I've never seen, and if anybody out there has seen this, let me know. I would like to read about it or watch it or anything like that. I have never seen a story where multiple people are stuck in the same time loop.
Oh.
I think there was an X-Files episode where Mulder and Scully were stuck in a loop.
Okay.
I'm not confident that they were both aware of it.
So unfortunately, you guys are going to wake up tomorrow morning, all three of you, and it's still today.
Shoot.
Just the three of you, though. I'm not in it.
Okay.
You're going to have to come back and deal with me every single day asking the same
God,
stupid
and you're going to
question
ask
again.
this question again, and we're going to be like,
And is that when it
"No."
resets?
So my question is, what do you do collectively and individually? What skills and habits do you form? And how do you eventually get out of this?
Right.
I actually recommended a book on here. It's called Neverworld Wake, and it is about a group of friends that are stuck in a time loop. It takes that premise to its ultimate extreme. Like they're literally trapped for years and years. And it gets dark. It gets weird. Highly recommended. Because this is exactly what you're talking about.
That's exactly what I want to
Just
ask.
came out this year.
I will tell you right away that I would very quickly spend a lot less time in Target than I did today.
I went to Target today too. Which one did you go to?
I went twice. One to Richfield for grocery shopping and then to Roseville for other things. And it was insane.
I like that you won't say what it was in Roseville. Now I'm just imagining that you're buying undies.
Undies.
Well, I'm glad that you're imagining that.
You're welcome.
My biggest challenge is going to be that I spent a large portion of my day with my husband and we were doing like just got back into town, have to run errands and get some stuff done around the house stuff. So he would be really annoyed with me if I went and did a bunch of other stuff. But I would have to get over it mattering.
Yeah.
Because then
you know it doesn't matter. You're just going to get it again.
Right.
Something I like about this premise, as opposed to like you're the last person left on Earth premise, is that after a couple of years of being the only person left on Earth, like you got to figure out food and stuff. Like you can only eat like Spam and Twinkies for a while before you're like, I got to learn how to freaking farm or something like that. Or hunt at least. But like in this premise, you kind of have eternity, but you can kind of just, because there's no consequences, you can do whatever you want.
You can't starve, right?
You won't starve.
Like,
None of that is a
starve.
problem. You just, I mean, and even if you get like thrown in prison or killed, you'll wake up
You'll just
again
wake
the
up.
next day,
Right.
according to the rules of most of the ways
Right.
these
Yeah.
things work.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of this would be the portion. So like immediately it would be like confusing. We'd probably spend a few months being like, this isn't what's going on, like trying to figure it out and blah, blah, blah. But I think maybe it would even be before a few months, just when we had that time that always happens in these time loops where we're just like crazy reckless. Like we would just like wake up in the morning and like rob places and
But not like just like a bank, because who needs money in for loop? But like a base jumping off of like a museum or
Right.
the
Like we would just
Statue of Liberty. I don't know.
I don't know why I'm picturing Mall of America,
thing?
but I feel like we would just like go to Mall of America and just like wreak havoc.
I say we get some of those scooters and we just like drive them through the mall.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound that crazy.
We got to start small so we can ramp it
Like,
up,
wait a second.
David.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
Although
fair.
honestly, the first, this is really sad because this is making me realize that I'm a grown person, because I was like, oh, I could probably like go to the gym and like get in shape. Cause like now I just, in my life, I don't have time to go to the gym, and it sucks because I know how much better I feel when I work out regularly. But now I'm like, I'm a new teacher. I'm lesson planning when I'm not at school, and my scant few hours I have to myself, like I want to friggin' watch Netflix. Like I don't want to go to the gym and then immediately have to go to bed.
Right.
But if I had a whole day where I was like, oh, the world's just going to reset itself, but I'm not. So I can just like go to the gym, and I don't need to get like ripped, but I just want to like get in a little better shape, you know?
Question.
Yeah.
Could you please get ripped though? Because we are a part of this, and it would be amazing to just like every day we come back here and we're like, yep, still here, but you're progressively getting huge,
just
like this monster.
That would require a level of
I love that idea.
I'm not interested
like looking at you and being like, wait a minute, Mike,
just
are you
just
like
some cardio and light
400
weights.
pounds of pure muscle now?
I don't need that.
I would just wake up. I live really close to Baker's Wife. I would just wake up and go get a dozen donuts and just eat them all every day.
So
you're working out.
Depending on how long you let this last, if it lasts literal years, like you could just have like a few like months where you're just like, I'm just gonna eat whatever the F I want
the
to.
reckless part. That's what I'm excited for.
Yeah. So 2 things. First, I think the moment that would be the most entertaining would be when we all go home and we go to bed, and then we wake up and it's Sunday again, and we talk to each other about that. And maybe don't even. Like maybe I think it's Monday and I might not figure it out, but the moment when all 3 of us connected on wait, we're trapped in this and it's us.
Right.
That are aware of it and no one else. That would be fun because that would be when like the plan started. We could record a lot of episodes of the Hypothetical.
We sure could.
That nobody would listen to.
Such backlog. My second thing would be I would be the best pianist ever. I would learn piano. That's the thing. That's my gym, I guess. If Mike is like, I just don't have time to do this. Piano playing is what I would do. If I
realized something that like, I don't know if it would work for me to go work out because I don't know if you can physically alter yourself in these scenarios.
Well, that's kind of why I wanted to eat donuts.
Yeah, because that's the thing.
Because I was like, I'd wake up and I'd just be like,
because usually, if you learn a skill that's just in your brain, I guess that stays.
Your consciousness.
But because a lot of times you get killed.
Right,
and you wake up. So
That's
I guess your physical state would reset too.
You'd have a ton of muscle memory.
Right, you'd be good at lifting weights. You wouldn't be strong, but your technique would be amazing.
Maybe I wouldn't want to figure out how to reset it. Like I think I'd have more fun just living in that world.
Safe little bubble world.
Well, there's so many things you could do. Like you could be like, oh, I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to read a book. And the thing is with a book, you could just read a book and then just start where you left off the next day.
That's
you
true.
could just read books.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about how much I would read. That'd be awesome. I guess I don't know for sure, but I feel like eventually we would all get to a point after the reckless phase where we would want to do something good. Maybe we could all just live our separate lives, but I feel like we would all be like, but we could do more if we join forces.
What can you do? What could you do that's good if in a world that only lasts one day?
I don't know, but I feel like that would be like the big philosophical question.
Because in these scenarios, in these stories, the only way it gets broken is you become a better person, a la Groundhog's Day, because he improves himself and proves himself worthy of Andy McDowell, or you solve your own murder. Because a lot of times there are people getting murdered and they have to solve that mystery. But in this case, it doesn't sound like that happened because I didn't get murdered today yet.
Mike, it is a good question. What can you do in a world of it's temporal. You're repeating the same day over and over again. You can't make any can't gain ground on any cause.
No.
We could do unethical experiments. All of the human experiments that we want to do. We could become the best sociologists ever by doing experiments on people that we'll never remember, and it won't be unethical because they will.
For example,
I'm now terrified that I'm coming here every single day.
I guess we couldn't do like the generational ones that are interesting, but like treating 2 kids the same and seeing like what happens if you yell at a baby. What happens if you like?
But those are longitudinal, though.
I know.
One day of yelling at a baby.
There are plenty of things that I'm sure you could do.
I mean, I'm sure there's like medical experiments, although we're not doctors.
But we could become doctors.
Could we though?
I think I could learn to be a doctor.
Yeah, but we wouldn't be able to get the like official.
Oh, that's okay. We rogue doctors. We sneak into hospitals and cure people. Yeah, we have enough time to learn how to acquire certain things.
I wonder if the most good that we could do would be to collectively learn something. Obviously, the goal would be that then one day this is going to be broken and we could do something with our knowledge.
Right.
You could go through the day and figure out all the bad things that are happening and stop crimes from happening. And then you could create like, okay, I need to go to this house at this time, give them CPR, go over here, stop that robbery, go over here, refill this car with gas. And you could just learn everything going wrong in the city and fix as much of it as you could. Like that's the good you could do. Although I think eventually we would get tired of that because we'd be like, is this making a difference? Right. Like, how do we know?
Yeah.
Even though it seems like you get bored, like you could literally just, everyone you see in a day, you could try to have a conversation with. Like every every day you could be like, I'm going to connect with this person today. And you could just try to do that in a non-creepy way. Like no stalkering anybody. Just be like, I want to get to know this person. So I feel like that would be something that, I mean, really you could take a lot of time just getting to know people.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. I would love that. I mean, I don't know if that would free us. So I think that's what we need to answer now. We've talked about what might be fun. Joe, also part of the question was, how do we get free?
Well, I did talk about that.
What is the thing we're supposed to learn?
I mean, I think what I would learn is that I just want to live in a time loop and I don't want it to stop.
And you would stay. Emily and I would go back to reality.
But how are you going to do it, David?
I think I would probably assume that trying to better myself would be the right route. But also I think that would make me at least enjoy it all more anyway. So if it's going to keep happening, I'd like to be the best version of myself, but also maybe that'll make it stop.
I think the way that I get out, the lesson that I need to learn from whatever force put me into this prison or paradise, depending on who you are, is that my instinct is to try to do as much as I possibly can in that time. And what I should be doing is just enjoying the existence of that time, because that's what I need to learn in my life anyway. So this would be a pretty good way of teaching me, like, you can learn all the piano you want, dog. It's not going to make you happier.
I think that would be somewhere kind of close to mine, just like how much time I've spent today feeling anxious about little different things that I have to do or things that I'm worried about. Truly learning to like live in the moment and not get so caught up in that would be possibly the key to break me out of it.
Us, but not Mike.
You could just stay.
I mean, once you've learned to live in the moment, I mean, don't you think it would be nice to just stay? Like,
yeah.
Because if you don't have to worry, because in that world, you don't have to worry about anything.
I know, but
it sounds great.
But but like the rest of my relationships in my life would cease to grow. And I don't want that.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think my biggest challenge in this world would be my husband, like waking up next to him every morning and having to like figure out how to be. I mean, like I'd probably just have to be a jerk to him a lot of the times if I am going to like leave the house without explanation. Right. But I would really miss that relationship being like a real thing.
It's just too bad he wasn't here for me to include him in the question. My favorite segment of this podcast has been Would You Blanket? I love this every episode. And I've had one in mind for David, my old buddy David.
For me.
Since I've heard the first one.
Since sixth grade.
Since sixth grade, yes. So the question I have for you, David, is would you shave it?
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a good, okay, yep.
So one day while stroking your beard, deep in thought, just like you just were just right now.
I actually do lots of times.
Yeah, like you actually do. Or at least wanting to appear deep in thought.
That's more why I do it.
Yeah. You are startled to discover that a clump of some sort is nestled inside. Confused and wondering what it might be. Maybe it's leftover food.
Sorry, the way you said
a snack you inadvertently left for yourself, perhaps?
Maybe.
You reach in further to tug it out, and suddenly it awakens, unfurls itself, and leaps out of your beard. It was a big old spider.
Oh, no.
How and when did it get there?
No.
Oh, no.
So my question is, would you shave it?
That's so simple, but
the
so
nastiest.
effective.
It being my beard, not the spider.
Or possibly both.
It could be a pretty hairy spider. There was a spider in my beard. Would I shave it? No. I would examine it. Yes. I would wash it. Yes. But I would not shave it.
You would not shave it?
No, just finding a spider in my beard and then having it out of my beard would not make me shave my beard.
All right.
It starts to happen once a week.
Oh.
And it's not always the same kind of spider. Sometimes it's very small and innocuous. Sometimes it's a little bigger, a little bit creepier. But it happens once a week. You never know when. Nothing more happens just once a week.
Oof. Same time each week or randomly?
Randomly.
Same time,
okay.
Same place.
Same time. Wait, it's randomly. Okay.
7, 8 Central, coming out of David's beard, Friday night.
Coming right out of the beard.
Friday night activity.
He's on a date. He's like, hold on, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Spider time.
Yes. Yes, I would shave it. I mean, the other alternative, of course, is like going to a doctor. But like the question isn't, would you go to a doctor? The question is, would you shave it? Me in this scenario would be like, well, there's like a dimensional hole or something in my beard and I got to figure this out. But like shaving my beard does seem like a good way of keeping spiders out of my beard because they keep coming back. And because it seems kind of magical, I feel like I would shave it.
Okay. So you decide to shave it.
Yep.
And you painfully bring the razor up near your face. And as soon as it touches your beard, it disappears.
Oh.
Somewhere inside your beard.
It's just...
It's gone. And so you reach in trying to figure out what the heck just happened to and your hand disappears inside your beard as well. And you discover that you are a genius and you are on top of things, and there is an interdimensional hole inside your beard
that spiders are coming
out of.
Okay.
Do you still try to shave it?
No, definitely not. If that's actually what it is, then I'm buckled up for this wild ride. That sounds awesome. Even though spiders are coming out of it. Other stuff could be in there too. I mean, if it's just a hole to the spider dimension, then like whatever, I'll shave it.
Spider dimension.
But no, I'm curious. I might try to reach my whole body into my beard. Is that how it works?
Yeah, that's exactly how it works, because that's what happens next. Is you do kind of like a reverse backflip into your face, and go through the hole in your face, and somehow all of you is transported into the nether realm contained inside your beard, and you emerge within a dark forest.
Oh my God. Wait, do I have a beard?
Yes.
Inside my beard?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I like turn myself inside out, but then I pop back up.
Yeah.
Somehow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And you see a big bonfire happening in the forest. Yeah. And you sneak up and you see that it's spiders of all shapes and sizes gathered around the fire. And then suddenly their giant spider leader shows up in his car. He's got a really nice car.
In his car.
He drives up. And they're like, he's arrived. And then they start discussing plans to take over our Earth. And they're going to come through the hole in your beard.
Oh, no.
And so now you're left in this situation.
Well, I assume that, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can still somehow eliminate the portal that they've been traveling through by returning through the portal and shaving my beard. Like, I still have the option to shave it.
I mean, the question is still, would you shave it?
Would I shave it?
Yeah.
So I have the power to shave off my beard and eliminate the portal that they can go through.
It would seem so.
Yeah. Okay, let's say that that's how it works. Yes, I would shave it. Well, I have a follow-up question.
Okay.
How cool is his car?
It's really cool. It has it glows underneath.
Oh, those are the best ones.
Yeah. It has 8 tires.
And the doors open up.
Ugh, I still would shave it, but it would be harder to shave if he had that cool car.
Okay.
You backflip back into your beard into this dimension. You're about to shave your beard when you realize that a little spider, a little purple spider came through with you.
Oh, hey.
And it kind of like crawls out of your beard and sits on your shoulder. And right as you're about to shave it, he's like,
no, here we go. Nope, do it.
Yes.
What's the voice?
What is he like?
What's he like?
"Hi, David.
Hi.
I'm a little guy. And I just wanted to let you know that bad guy that you saw, he's not a representative of the rest of us." I'm going to stop the voice there. And he tells you about how there are a lot of spiders that love humans, and they somehow, I don't know, they have other portals in a couple different places, but those are portals they can only look through. They love humans. They love watching us live. And there's like a huge group of them that want to actually come through your beard portal and help humanity. Now that they figured out there's a portal that they can actually pass through. So, do you still shave it? Do you trust this little guy?
Well, okay. Did I get a sense of how big, in comparison to me, David the human, this big spider with the cool car was? Was it like, because I was picturing like bigger than me spider that's going to come into this dimension and like wreak havoc, but is it just spiders that are normal sized?
That's a Mike question.
That one was human size.
Okay.
All the rest of the spiders are regular spider size.
That one is like clearly a mutant.
I'm not saying that they can't like Voltron together to make a big giant spider.
In fact, they should.
But there also apparently are lots of good spiders living there too.
I have to be honest. I still would shave it. And I would apologize to the little guy and I would tell
just a
them
little guy.
that's just a little guy. Is that their name? I'm just a little guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
They're not super clear on our process of naming.
Just a little guy. I'm sorry. I believe in your goodness and your purity, but I can't risk putting other people's lives in danger just because you're nice. You can still look through all the other portals that you have. We appreciate your fandom, and we'll do lots of, if you tell me where they are, I'll try to do lots of cool tricks for you so you can enjoy me. But I have to shave my beard and eliminate this traversal. It is not right.
It would probably hurt having a human-sized spider come out of your chin.
Yeah, I also feel like I might die if he came through my throat. That's nasty.
You got through there yourself.
That's true. I got through.
I think you made the right choice in the end, although I'm not really sure where our friendship goes if you don't have a beard. We'll find out, I guess.
Well, I don't know where our friendship would go if I was shooting spiders out of my
I think
body.
that would affect it more than
all
him
right,
not
that's a
having
good point.
beard.
No, I just mean that I'm not always great with change, and it makes me scared to think about.
Actually, I heard this scenario on a Stop Podcasting Yourself. You guys heard of that podcast?
Yeah.
One of the guys has a big beard, and he had told this story of this happening to him at one point.
Oh, how he found a spider?
I think it was like a wolf spider. It was clumped up.
No.
And
Wolf
yeah.
spiders are big.
Yeah,
I know.
that is nasty.
Yeah.
Did he shave it?
I don't think he did, but I think he did what David said at first, which is, I'm going to wash this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta like dry clean it.
So we have reached our final proper segment. I don't know if is proper the right word.
There is one improper segment at the end.
We're skipping that one.
This is the segment we call If I Were You, or we recommend things we would do if we were you. What I want to recommend today is searching out videos or books or anything by Ricky Jay, because Ricky Jay is one of my favorite people. And I think not enough people know about him. Judging by all of the confused looks on all of your faces, you do not know who he is either. He is a magician / magic historian who's been in a number of films, Paul Thomas Anderson and David Mamet. He is a magic consultant on almost any movie having to do with magic, like The Prestige. You'll see him in the credits as a consultant. He also writes and collects books about the history of magic through the ages. There's a book he wrote called Learned Pigs and Fireproof Women about like stage acts in the past, where there were like pigs that could do math and stuff. And he was also very famous for throwing playing cards, and he could stick them into watermelon or put out candles with them. He was a very great man.
Hey, he was in that Daredevil movie.
But anyway, he died very recently, and he is one of my favorite people. And I feel like if you just look him up on YouTube, there's a couple specials he did where he does like card tricks, and they're very impressive. He's also been on like talk shows throwing cards, and but he's great. Just to hear him talk is a great joy. So I recommend Ricky Jay. It's spelled just like it sounds. Look him up. I have a couple of his books if you want to borrow them, so just stop on by the Hypotheta House and I'll let you borrow those.
If I were you, I would watch the Netflix show American Vandal. I know a lot of you probably have, and the first season was like pretty significantly popular, I would say.
Yeah.
The second season came out recently, within the last month or so. I was skeptical of watching the show in the first place. I thought it looked kind of dumb. Then I watched the first season and I loved it. And then I heard about the second season and the same exact thing happened, where I heard the premise and I was like, this one just doesn't look as good. And I kind of heard some people say like, it's not quite as good, but I watched it anyway, and it is great. It is one of those wonderful shows that I feel like we actually have a lot of right now, where it is very funny and like a really solid comedy, but there's so much more to it.
Do you want to say what it is?
The premise is it is a pretend documentary that is kind of in the style of true crime documentaries that have recently become very popular. If you haven't watched the show at all, do it. If you're waiting on the second season, do it. It's totally worth it.
If I were you, I would go on YouTube and watch The Genius. Go look it up. It's a Korean game show. It's unlike anything you've ever seen. It is filled with people who are either minor celebrities in Korea who you've never heard of because you're not in Korea, or people who are just gifted in other ways. And it is an incredible situation where everybody is limited once a week, but they all play games on the show. And it could be a simplest game, but any game that is played in there is going to be drawn out very, very slowly. And so you'll see like a basic game played, but they'll have breaks in there so they'll all go to different rooms and strategize and backstab each other. And it's brilliant. I can't explain it well. It's worth it. David, you saw it recently.
Right.
What'd you think?
Yeah. I saw the first episode because Joe sent it to me. And it's a great, if you like game theory, if you like thinking about how will these people interact with this concept and what alliances will they forge and how will they betray those alliances? It's kind of like Survivor, but for game theory and not for like feats. It's pretty cool.
And it's fun because you also get to see a different culture at work there too. When I first watched it, I didn't know anybody that was on the show, but you started following people and rooting for them along the way. And
right.
It's just an absolute blast. I've never seen anything like it.
It's funny too. If I were you, I would do something very simple. And since we don't have a theme, I just thought about things that I want more people to do. Write a letter to somebody that you like. Not like write a letter to the boy you like. Like, that's not what I mean. Like,
or you could.
You could. If you want to write a letter to that boy you like, you can do that. Or you can just write a letter. I love receiving letters. I love writing them. I think the act of putting pen to paper is centering for me, and I think it's very fun. I like handling paper, like the rustly sounds that it makes. Even spending a half hour thinking about what you want to say to a person is a nice little act. And then someone else gets to read it. I don't know if you've heard of them, but letters, write one.
Yeah.
I love
that. Sounds great. I do think in the vein of writing letters, we should probably discuss something that's been going on in the Hypotheta house.
Yeah.
It began back in our Halloween episodes of last month, and we requested that our fans compete amongst each other to become our creepiest fan. And recently, Emily expressed some not ire, but
at least distaste.
Distaste for the fact that this is ongoing and we still are not sure who our creepiest fan is. We talked about the things we received before, but just this week we got a letter in the mail, which I was personally offended by because it was addressed to Emily Dussault, care of the Hypotheticast, care of David Gutchie, with our address on it, but apparently no mention of me. So I was the only one left out of this. But anyway, what was actually inside was probably more disturbing than that. Do you want to describe it, Emily?
Sure. So the letter is to me. It says, Emily, you are angry with me? I gave you gifts. I told you who I am if you had been listening. I gave you gifts. I am a giver. And you would replace me? Can't even describe the like nasty messiness that is that letter. It's written in like multiple different pens with like brown smudges that I assume are supposed to be blood. A picture of my face cut out with the eyes X'd out.
It's very
There's
disturbing.
also a drawing of a bed with X's over it, and then a little picture of my face with the eyes crossed out.
That looks more like a spider to me, actually.
Oh yeah, it kind of does.
Maybe a spider wrote this.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe it's from
It
a
says,
spider.
Forever, XOXO, your creepiest fan. Halloween may be over, but creepiness is eternal. The truly most disturbing part is on the back of the letter, there is a collage made of pictures cut out from a magazine, but also pictures of David and Mike and I printed off of Facebook. I'm going to obviously take pictures and put this up on our Instagram, but it's terrifying in a fun way or fun in a terrifying way. One of those two. Needless to say, it is not quite the response that I was hoping for.
Although I thought it was delightful.
I love it.
It's great. But here's what I will say, dear creepiest fan, thank you so much. I feel super excited and thrilled. And actually, before we started recording, Mike and I were talking about how if this person murders me, maybe they'll make a movie of me, like how Selena got a movie after she was murdered by one of her big fans. I'm very flattered. I would also like to reward you what you deserve. You deserve so much. Big prizes and kind words and other things that are surprises upon you divulging who you are to me. I don't know. But obviously they think they're giving me clues. Yeah. So I'm going to post pictures on our Instagram and maybe you guys can help us solve it.
Maybe.
We feel like some of the pictures are allusions to different episodes we've had. Please help us. And whoever you are, thank you. And please help me. Help me know you better.
Help me know you.
Emily, if someone wants to reach us in a more productive way, how could they do that?
You can reach out to us on Facebook. We are also on Twitter. We are on Instagram, hypotheticast_IG. You could email us, hypotheticast@gmail.com, or go to our website, hypotheticast.club. Go to any of those places to say hi, give us your ideas, or tell us who you are.
Or even write us a review on iTunes or any podcast app. Those are great for other people discovering us. We love reviews. Also, just interacting with our posts on Facebook helps push us up into the viewership of more people on Facebook according to their obscure algorithms. And also just talking about us to friends that may not know about us. Is that how you found out about us, Joe?
That's how I found other people to find out about you guys. But
yeah, there you
I'm
go.
friends with David for a long time. So
And look what happened. Joe's on the podcast.
I'm on the podcast. I took over.
Thank you to Jaden James and The Hunger for their song Killin' It. That's from their album Raw. And it's so good. And we're so happy that we have it. Thank you to Christian Hagen for our logo. And thank you to you, the listeners, for sticking with us through what is our 50th episode. This is it. We've had a lot of micros along the way, but made it all the way to 50, which is pretty rad. So thanks for coming with us on this happy trail, and we hope you stick around for another 50.
Huzzah!
We have one last segment, Joe. What is it?
For the rest of your life, would you rather have every fart sound like an air horn, or sneeze glitter every time you sneeze?
Glitter sneeze for sure.
Definitely glitter sneeze.
Yeah, I love glitter.
Glitter!
Glitter!
Glitter party!
No questions asked. That's the name of that segment, and that's our show. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you, listeners, so
Thank
much.
you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
Our
for
Joe
being
themed
here.
episode happened. It was wonderful.
Goodbye. Have a nice night.
Bye-bye.
And the other question I had here was not so much a question, it was I wanted to share a theory with you guys.
Oh, a theory.
You guys know how Sean Bean dies in pretty much just every movie he's in?
Yes.
My theory was that he actually dies in every single movie ever.
He's in there.
He's in every single movie ever, and he dies in all of them. Most of the time, he dies either before the movie starts or off screen in the movie.
Okay.
But he is in them, and
He's
does
in every
die.
single one, yeah. And even the ones that he seems like he survives.
No, he dies later.
He dies later on, yeah. And so my question was, start working on different movies. What movies? How does he die in this movie? My roommate said he was on Alderaan.
Ah, yeah,
that's
sure,
one thing.
right.
And,
That's a good.
And
Sure,
throw a tougher one at. Okay, well, what about Winnie the Pooh?
He's Mr. Saunders.
Who?
That's what it says on Pooh's home.
Okay.
It says Mr.
Yeah.
Saunders.
Yep.
Pooh's name is not Mr. Saunders.
Okay.
Pooh killed Mr. Saunders and took his home.
my God.
And lives there.
and took his home.
That
Sean
escalated
Bean played
quickly.
Mr. Saunders
Oh, my.
in Winnie the Pooh.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
And Pooh ate him.